Now for another one of my favourites. I love poached eggs, but only when they're cooked perfectly. But there's loads of strange myths about how to do them.
One technique is creating a whirlpool where you put a spoon or something into the water, spin it around really quickly, and then slide the egg in, and that helps to keep the white wrapped around the yolk. Another technique is to add some vinegar to the water. But what that does is it makes the egg white tough and dry. And sometimes, if there's too much vinegar, it actually tastes acidic. And you can't make a great poached egg without using a fresh egg.
If you don't get your egg direct from a chicken, how can you tell how fresh it really is?
If I pop in a fresh egg, it sinks. And this egg is just over 3 weeks old. You see the difference? The old egg is floating. The reason this egg floats is because of a little air pocket. And as the egg gets older, the inside of it starts to shrink as the moisture dries out. And as it shrinks, this air pocket gets bigger. As the air pocket gets bigger, just like a helium balloon, the egg starts to float.
And here's why the age of an egg is important for poaching.
Here is a 3-week-old egg.
As eggs get older, the whites become watery. And that's what causes the stringy bits when you try to poach them.
But the white is OK for things like soufflés and meringues, and if you're going to scramble it, well, that's OK.
In a fresh egg, the white is firmer.
And this is going to make a massive difference to your poached egg because it's going to stay intact. Also, great for fried eggs.
So you've got a fresh egg. How do you poach it to perfection?
This technique will produce the perfect poached egg every single time, and it's really quite simple.
First, get it away from direct heat.
Just take a plate, upturned, and just drop it into the pan of water. The plate will protect the egg white from the direct heat of the pan.
Second, I've worked out the right temperature.
The most important piece of kit for this recipe is a thermometer.
These take the guesswork out of cooking, and you can get them from the supermarket. 80 degrees is what you want. And third, even a fresh egg has a little bit of watery white, so you've got to drain it off.
That's the stuff that's going to go all spindly and basically mess up the poached egg. So what I'm left with is a nice, clean egg white.
I've also worked out how long to cook it.
Start the timer, 4 minutes. Now this is ready. Just got a simple toasted muffin. And then all that needs is a bit of cracked black pepper and a few grains of salt. If something's that good, it really doesn't need anything else. It's just one of the great egg dishes when done well.
Eggs have an amazing magical quality. The yolks contain a substance called lecithin, which holds those arch enemies, oil and water, together. And that's the secret behind mayonnaise.
So I'm going to show you how to make mayonnaise.
Just take 1 room temperature egg.
Just need the yolk.
Add a dollop of mustard. Then at first, add the oil very, very slowly while whisking. The egg yolk's 50% water, but the magic ingredient, the lecithin, binds the water in the egg to the oil.
People say you have to drip the oil literally 1 drip at a time, but it's not necessary. Just add very gently, very slowly, just dripping in. And as it starts to emulsify, you'll notice the mixture's going to thicken. And then you can start increasing the amount of oil you add. More. Looking good. To finish it off, just a few drops of vinegar and some salt. So this ratio of egg yolk to oil is quite a common standard mayonnaise recipe. 150 ml of oil and 1 egg. Now, I think we should start adding some more oil. But a lot of people don't like to make mayonnaise because they think if they add too much oil, it's just going to split. Now, that's not true.
So me and my development chefs are going to do a simple test to see just how much oil you can add to 1 little egg yolk before it splits.
Full speed.
At a massive 1.5 litres, it's just starting to split. That's 7 times what the recipe books say. So our experiment shows, don't be scared of mayo. Give it a go and trust the power of the egg.
It's also shown you can make an awful lot of mess with more oil, a bucket, a power tool, and 1 Otto.
Now we know the basic egg techniques, let's step up a gear. Here's a puzzle for you. How do you keep a yolk runny when it's been boiled, fried and baked in a Scotch egg? Impossible? No, it's easy.
I remember when I was a kid, one of the things I got really excited about on a picnic was a Scotch egg. I look back at it, I think, God, hard-boiled egg, sometimes a little bit green, with this sausage casing, and then coated in this really bizarre orange kind of pasty powder stuff. I don't even know what it was. So for me, I wanted to rise to the challenge of reinventing the Scotch egg. So the challenge is how to keep the yolk runny at the end of the cooking process.
First trick, only half-boil the eggs. So leave them in that pan off the heat for just 3 minutes instead of 6. Next, some kitchen magic, the ice trick. Dunk the eggs in iced water to stop them cooking. Now you need to peel them with a spoon.
The shell should now come off nice and easily. Someone said to me, never work with children, small animals, and hard-boiled eggshells.
Oh well, here's a couple that did peel properly.
The next stage, I need to make this sausage casing. So for that, I need some sausages. Just unwrap the casings and just pop them in the mixer.
With paprika, cornstarch and hot dog mustard.
And I've got a highly technical, scientifically advanced reason for adding this. I love it.
A splash of water. Now, somehow, all that lot's got to stick together in a paste. And for that, I've got a very surprising glue, a bit of kitchen magic, salt.
The salt will mix with the meat and draw out some proteins from it, which will act as like a glue and help it bind. That's great technique. If you're making a burger, for example, you don't need to add breadcrumbs, you don't need to add egg yolks. Just add enough salt.
Next hurdle, how are you going to get that sticky meat around your egg? Here's a nifty tool. Cling film.
Just gather the cling film around the egg.
Then unwrap and dip first into flour, then beaten egg and breadcrumbs. OK, ready to go. Hold your breath and chuck it in really hot oil, 190 degrees.
The idea with this is to get the coating brown and crisp as soon as possible, because we're going to finish the cooking off in the oven. These should take a couple of minutes.
Not long enough for the heat to reach the egg yolk.
Ow. That's basically not how you put a thermometer in a pan. At the moment, the egg white's not quite cooked. The sausage meat is not cooked, but we've got the wonderful gold crust.
So bake for just 10 minutes at 190 degrees. So those eggs have been boiled, fried and baked. Will that soft yolk have survived? Perfect.
The yolk is so creamy. That is one sexy Scotch egg.